Hi everybody, I'm Zach Zdanek with the Patch Program, and I'm here with Joe McDonald with A&M Digital Technologies for this week's Help Desk on Technology. And we're going to talk about some PCs today with Joe McDonald. Good to have you again this week. And what we're going to talk about is, when do I need to upgrade or replace my PC, which I'm sure was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's the thing I run into with a lot of people. They have an older computer and they go, well, I'd like to upgrade it. I really can't afford a new one, so what can I do? So here we are.
Excellent. That's some information I need to know as well. What are the main things to consider when we're talking about this? I know one of the issues is that with the internet, you're constantly getting higher amounts of information coming through with videos and streaming and all these things. And each time that happens, then the requirements for your computers go up.
Yeah, they always set the bar just a little higher so you keep that money rolling.
Right, exactly. It's a never-ending cycle.
Right.
So what are some of the ways that are one of the things that I have to look at first when I'm trying to decide whether it's something I can upgrade or if it's time to junk it and get a new one?
Well, the first thing I always ask somebody is, how old is your system? And the way we gauge that in the industry is on business use. If in a business, the typical lifespan on a desktop is 3 to 5 years. And
Right.
on a laptop is 2 to 3 years, and we base that on wear and tear, because you're more likely to take your laptop and
Right.
throw it in a truck and go here, there, and everywhere with it more than you are a desktop. So the lifespan on a laptop is much less.
And it's a little bit easier with a PC, I assume, also to make adjustments as far as the amount of memory and things like that than it would be for a
Right.
laptop, because you can get into it.
Right. And with a laptop, they finally made it where you can actually get in and make the parts now. Some of these newer stuff, like the ultra thin stuff, it's a little trickier to get into.
Right. I wouldn't want to look in one. I've taken out the tower of a PC a few times, and it looks like Greek to me in there, and not sure what's what. But you were talking about your age, and so if it's a home computer, what do you think is to go with that age? I assume also the gigabytes or the amount of memory and RAM and things like that are a big issue.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, on the business side, it's 3 to 5 years. So on the home side, you can usually squeeze an extra year or two out of it, because you're not using the desktop at home as heavily as you do in a business setting.
Right. Hopefully not.
Right.
If you are, you probably need to get outside every once in a while and stop gaming so much.
Right.
I'm sure there's several, especially young people, that use the computers nonstop when they have the chance and do a lot of gaming and things like that. And that's also another consideration. If there's that going on, it's a whole different level of what you need, right?
Exactly.
Yep. What about the different uses? How does that affect when you need to upgrade it and things like that? As far as you're talking about business and personal, but also we're talking about gaming or video, or if you're using it to watch TV over nowadays or whatever it might be.
Well, it's always your primary use. If you're using just to Facebook and play music, yeah, you can get that 3 to 5 years and maybe push it out to get an extra year or two.
Right.
But if you're going to do a lot of video editing, audio editing, anything that requires a lot of horsepower under the hood, it's probably best to, when you get to that end of life, just to go ahead and scrap it and get a new one.
Right, and the way it goes, after a couple of years, the price comes down on them, and when they first come out, they're very expensive, but within a couple of years, that price drops as the new gadgets come out, and it rolls over like that. How about when we're talking about the price, what about the cost for these different types of things and upgrades and things that you might have?
Well, this is a tricky thing, the way the market shifts, because when your system's almost out of date, the price drops dramatically. Well, then as the systems become more scarce, the whole process of supply and demand comes into place. So they go, oh, well, you want that? Yeah, you'll get it if you pay the right price. So they jack the price right back up. So then you're looking, well, it's going to cost me $100 to get a new drive. Well, I can get a whole new system for $400.
Right.
The computer's 6 years old, so you know you can justify the cost. Well, do I really want to spend an extra $100 on the hard drive today and risk something else blowing out nickel and diming it to death, or just go ahead and just bite the bullet and put a new system in?
How about when they're talking about some of the hard drives and things, what is a good, if you're having a regular home use computer nowadays. I know when I look at things, computers used to be less than 1 gig, all of them, and I think my home computer was less than 1 gig, and I put more memory in it to be able to get it up. But what is it now? Thumb drives and phones and everything have more than 4 gigs on it.
Right.
And so what is a good idea when people are looking at that, if they are looking to upgrade or purchase, what are some kind of benchmarks, things you need to look at if you're going to operate it?
When I look at the system on just your basic system, if you're going to basically use internet and take pictures and save pictures like that, I wouldn't go anything less than 4 gig of RAM, which is your speed memory, and then for your hard drive storage space, nothing less than 500, possibly 320 gig, but nothing less than 500 gig.
Right, absolutely. And how about when you're talking about upgrading, what are some of the options and ways you can do that?
Well, the first thing you can look at, see what's running on your system. See, people go, well, I want to delete these pictures and speed up my system. Well, that's not really going to affect a lot of it. It's all those programs. If you look down at your taskbar in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, all those little icons you're running, that stuff running
same time.
Yeah, that's stuff running in your background. So you can turn a lot of that stuff off. So you can turn those off, and we can take a look at your system, see if you can upgrade the RAM, which will give you a little more performance. And if you're running out of hard drive space, put in a bigger hard drive. Although one other thing that we do for a lot of people is if you're running Windows Vista, when it was released, it was just failed from the beginning.
It was a mess. Absolutely.
So what we do for a lot of people is we actually get them a Windows 7 license, and I've seen at bare minimum a 20% increase in performance just upgrading from Vista
just
to
the
7.
software. Yep.
Yeah.
How about, is there other ways with that too, as far as the software that's involved with that? It's always the combination between the two, but is there, as you were talking, is there software that can make your computer faster, or are you pretty much, other than trading up to, as you said, to Windows, is there any outside or other software that will go clean your computer or make it faster, that will really have a significant jump that's going to keep up with this increase in information that's coming in that computer is going to have to be able to handle? Because now if you open any video, it's going to be of higher quality.
Right. Well, one of your things you can look at is your antivirus, because the antivirus companies a few years ago pretty much maxed out your system just running it.
Right.
So people said, I'm not running this because I want to be able to use my computer. So they went away from it. Well, the antivirus companies started to realize, people need to use their system other than just scanning for viruses. So they've actually backed off. So your antivirus could possibly play a role in it.
Right.
But a lot of these software programs you see on TV, buy this program and speed up your system, that's just a waste of money and time.
Right.
It's more of a pain in the neck than anything.
Right. And how about if you've decided that your computer needs upgraded, or you need to go buy a new computer, what are some of the best ways to look at and get deals and things like that?
Give us a call. They can stop by and give us a call at our offices at 304-927-3588, or visit our website at amdigitaltechnologies.com.
We call you regularly for information about it, because we know just enough to get us into trouble when it comes to technology. So anytime we need somebody that is more savvy when it comes to technology, we call A&M Digital Technologies and say, help us out. What's next? So we appreciate it, and that's it for this week's show of our help desk for technology with Joe McDonald and A&M Digital Technologies, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.